welcome. This video is for Pasantías pre-profesionales y vinculación con la comunidad número 2. This is the fourth video of 5. This is a video about the lesson class. The lesson class topic is phrasal verbs. In this class, we are going to learn 8 phrasal verbs in different contexts. We have first the anticipatory set. The anticipatory set is for introduce students into the topic without any structure. So in this part, the teacher will write on the board about a short night routine. And then she will explain sentence by sentence, and if it is necessary, she could use here L1 to explain to students because we want to state this part. The short night routine goes like this. When I get back from work, this is written on the board. First, I put down my bag. Then I take off my sweater. Next, I look for something to eat. And after dinner, I turn off all the lights and then I go to sleep. We need that students understand this is a short routine. Maybe it could be used some pictures for enhancing this part. Next, we have the main teaching input. In this part, we have the warm-up activity. In this part, teacher will tell students some sentences emphasizing the phrasal verbs. The sentences are the same. The next, Diana picked up the phone just after it rang. I dressed up for the party. I pick out the bigger oranges. Watch out, a car is coming. After this part, maybe there is a short discussion about the meaning of these sentences. Students can give opinions and share ideas, but in this part we are not stating structures. We have to wait. In the next part, teacher will show a presentation about phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs structure is, as we know, a verb plus a particle. So this is explained in the presentation. The presentation could be shown by using technology, maybe a computer, or if it is not possible, teacher could print the presentation to show to the class as a big poster. This is a good idea because also teacher could keep the big posters for another classes in the time. Well, after the explanation in the presentation about how to write phrasal verbs, teacher will write the phrasal verbs that we already heard in the past activities, warm-up and anticipatory set. This is the 8 phrasal verbs that we are going to learn this class. And these phrasal verbs are written in a column on the board, and then there is a short discussion with students about the meaning of these verbs. The verbs this time are pick up, pick out, watch out, dress up, put down, look for, turn off, and take off. If it is necessary for checking the meaning of the verbs and for a deep understanding, teacher can use their L1, translation method. Maybe sometimes it is necessary for phrasal verbs and the students because sometimes phrasal verbs are tricky and we need them to understand it correctly. In the modeling part, the teacher writes New sentences in another context using the verbs from the list that is in a part of the board. And the next, in the other part of the board, we are going to start to write sentences with the same verbs but in different contexts. It just to show their meaning. In the guided practice, students are given a worksheet. The worksheet is to match the phrasal verbs with the meaning. This meaning is sketched from the dictionary, so this is much more formal, and students didn't hear those words in this class, so it's for them to think. This is a supplementary material, this worksheet. In the part of independent practice, students will write their own sentence using the list of phrasal verbs on the board, but in totally different contexts. They have to use it in other contexts with another words, with another subjects or another subject pronouns. This is very important in order to they understand that the phrasal verb works as another verb. For example, in the third singular person, they have to add the is at the end or in all that. Well, for the assessment part, students will work in pairs. This time they have to share the sentence and find out if the meaning is correct. So they locate themselves in pairs and they tell each other the sentence they wrote with each phrasal verb, and then they will discuss if they understand the same. Just to state again the meaning or real meaning of these phrasal verbs and another context. This is for them to realize, to share ideas, to work in pairs. This activity maybe should last about 10 minutes because there are 8 phrasal verbs on the list, so this means 8 sentences for each student, and they have to state up if they agree with the meaning of the verbs, and in the end if they agree with the structure of the sentences they wrote. This activity is for a self-assessment, I could say. In the last part we have a closing, review, and follow-up. Well, in the closing part, maybe the teacher could pick some students and read the sentences they make together in pairs, and teacher can ask another student if they agree. But this is a quickly part just to state the topic. A teacher can also ask if students have any questions in this part, in the closing part. And as a follow-up, we have a homework. In this homework, students have to research for another 10 phrasal verbs and look for their meaning. And then they have to write in front of these verbs if the verbs are transitive or intransitive. This part of transitive or intransitive it's shown in the showing structure part of in the main teaching input. In the part of the PowerPoint presentations about phrasal verbs, we have the explanation about transitive and intransitive verbs, and there is the explanation of if the verbs we have on the board are transitive or intransitive. This is in the class, so students can easily relate how a verb is transitive or intransitive and also do the homework. This is class number 4 in video number 4.